Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new around here and this is your first time checking out one of my videos, hello and welcome. My name is Katie Marie. I'm a lover of eyeshadow palettes, indie makeup, and just makeup in general. And today we're going to be sitting down to do my monthly favorites and fails video. This is where I give you guys a bunch of reviews on new products that I tried, and I do it in a ranking form of working from the worst all the way to the best, just to keep it fun and interesting. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have pretty polar opposite reviews when it comes to the worst product and the best product, so I always like when that happens and there's this big distinction of oh yes, that was a fail, and oh yes, that was a favorite. So we're going to be jumping right into it, and I do want to say before really diving into the video that there is going to be a portion of this video that is sponsored by the brand, so I'm very excited for that, but that's the only part that will be sponsored. We'll get into it, but I just want to be upfront about it. So let's go ahead and jump into my Instagram shout out for today before we really dive into the video and sharing all my reviews from this past month. Okay, so for my Instagram shout out for today, it's going to go to DD Signature. She commented on my most recent post, which was so very sweet. I really do appreciate the comment. And if you're not aware, DD Signatures is a brand, and I will definitely tag them or leave the link to their Instagram page down below if you want to check them out, because they have been a brand I've been eyeing some releases of. So I definitely have them on my radar, and I'm really excited to see what else they continue to launch. But yes, DD Signature is my shout out for today. And thank you to everyone whoever takes the time to comment on my posts. I really do appreciate it. If you want to be featured, you just have to be following me on Instagram, LadyKatie92, and leave comments. And whenever I sit down, I just randomly select someone. So yeah, that's my Instagram shout out for today. We're going to be jumping right into it. I do want to give a little bit of like housekeeping rules, I guess you could say. We're getting closer to December. I am trying to get some behind the scenes work done, I guess you could say. Get some pre-filming done and get ahead of the schedule just so I can keep up with daily uploads in December. So I just want to throw out there, if my editing is a little bit simplistic, that's probably going to be why, because I'm going to try to be saving myself a little bit of time in getting a head start on my videos for December and getting as much pre-planned, pre-filmed, and maybe even pre-edited, that'd be amazing, done beforehand as I can. But yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and just jump right in and talk about the worst product at number 10 that I tried this past month. Alright, coming in at number 10, I have the Zoeva Visionary Light Highlighter in Unbelievable. This product right here, I had high hopes for because, for one, it's beautiful. You look at it and it's just like, oh my goodness, that is stunning. And I mean, looking at it and hearing about it, I thought I would enjoy it. However, actually using it, I think I've only managed and forced myself to actually try this on my face 3 times because I hate it that much and I just don't want to use it. So I keep seeing it in my drawer and I'm like, oh, I don't want to use that. It was just so bad. And the reason it's so bad is because it is so dry, but also like pigmented, but when you use it on a brush, it's chunky. Does that make sense at all? I really don't know if I'm explaining myself right. Like when I swatched, I was like, oh no, that's definitely not going to match me. But then I was like putting it on my arm, blending out. I was like, okay, you know, maybe that'll work. Maybe I could do it lightly. It's a very gold highlighter. Definitely if I liked the formula, I would have probably changed it up for a lighter option. I think they had one lighter, but anyway. The problem I have is that this goes on and looks like I just dusted glitter over the top of my cheekbones. There's no like blinding highlight in the aspect of just this reflectiveness. It's just glittery chunks that spray everywhere. When I use a brush, it got everywhere. Like I saw glitter, like these little reflects on my forehead, on my chin, on my nose. I just did not like how it went everywhere. It's so very dry. I feel like I should preface this review by saying maybe it's just because I have the wrong shade. And if you have this and you like it, definitely let me know. Do I just have the wrong color? Are you someone who always uses it wet and you like it a lot better? Let me know, because this product as it is with the color I have, I hate it. to put it short and simple, I really don't like it. And as I said, I've only forced myself to wear it 3 times. It doesn't look great because it's just like I feel like I just took a pressed glitter and tried to apply it. And for me, I'm someone, when it comes to my highlighters, I don't like glitter in my highlighters. There's very few that I can think of that I don't mind a little bit of glitter. I like the sheen and the shine. I like it to blend into my skin, almost look like it's not there, but when I turn my head, that's when you see the highlight. Which, by the way, did I put highlighter on today? I did not. Wow, what is wrong with me? I will put highlighter on when I talk about the other highlighter in my video, and we could do it on camera, because that is another little alteration I'm making with this monthly favorites review. I'm not going to be showing a demo of anything. Usually I stick up close-ups and all that. I'm gonna skip out on this month just because I'm trying to make the editing a little bit faster so I can get, again, ahead of the schedule for Vlogmas. But anyway, I just don't like this. So I figured I'm going to put it in last at number 10 because I really didn't like it, and the times I tried to use it this month, I really hated it. But if you have used this and you do like it, let me know how you use it, and maybe I'll try it again. Maybe if I really just need to exchange a color and then I'll love it, let me know. Again, I should preface this by saying it might not be that the product is bad, it just might be that the product isn't meant for me. I totally forgot to say in the beginning, but if you like this look, I did a get ready with me that should already be live. It will be linked up here if you want to see. I used the Muse Beauty Impressionism palette. That I had a lot of fun with that. I meant to say in the beginning, but I forgot, so saying it now. Let's continue. For my number 9 spot, it's going to go to the Ofra Absolute Cover Foundation. Now this one is a little tricky because it is dark for me, so I think that right there kind of makes you, whenever you wear it, you're just like, ugh, I don't like that. But besides that, anytime I wore this, I didn't like how my foundation looked, and not just the color, but like actually wearing it, what it looked like, even blending it into my face. I didn't like how it looked. It was a little splotchy, it was a little just not very even and smooth. I would say it didn't blend in evenly, like some areas looked like it had coverage, but other areas didn't. This is a very, in my opinion, light coverage foundation, so maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just someone who's not really meant for light coverage, because for me, if I'm gonna put on a foundation, not that I want heavy coverage, but I want medium coverage. And for me with this foundation, I feel like a lot of the times, again, I would feel like it'd cover nicely everywhere, but I'd still see redness here. It would still kind of be weird blending in around my nose, and for me, I don't like that. I don't like that look. I don't like that unevenness. I want it all to be even and smooth, and if it's gonna conceal and give me any kind of coverage, it needs to be in the areas that I need it. But even besides that, once I blended it in and I liked how my makeup looked when I left my makeup table, I never liked how it looked at the end of the day or even halfway through the day. It really broke up badly for me, and it got very splotchy, and if I ever had any kind of touching to my face, which I have a 10-month-old, there's a lot of touching to my face throughout the day, and I would notice, especially on the side where I carry him and snuggle him, it would just be so disrupted, so smeared off, and so not even just smeared off like it was gone, it was just splotchy. It just didn't look good in my opinion. So for me personally, I tried this so many times this past month, and even tried it last month a little bit, or the month before last a little bit, and I never enjoyed wearing it. So I tried it a couple more times this past month, and I was just like, you know what, why are you forcing yourself? You don't like it. Maybe it's because it's light coverage and you're just not a light coverage girl. Maybe it's because it's the wrong color. That could be it. Maybe it's just because it doesn't wear well on you, which it definitely doesn't, and maybe I need to prep more. I don't know. Whatever the reason is, I don't enjoy this, so hence why it landed at number 9. Okay, for number 8, this has been a long time coming for me to review this, but this is the NBA Cosmetics Multi-Chrome Eyeshadow in they're Chromolust in Silicious, I think is the name. This is a multi-chrome, and it's a loose pigment from NBA Cosmetics. I'm pretty sure I got it last year. Let's just pause for Katie's embarrassment there. But I've had it in my drawer for so long, on and off, trying to use it, and I would just forget, or I just wouldn't. Honestly, it's the loose pigment aspect, the fact that it's a loose pigment and I have to use some type of mixing medium, or I just make a really big mess because it's loose. It's a deterrent for me when it comes to using this, so that's definitely one reason why it's so low on my countdown. But even on top of that, getting past it being loose, and that's just not my preference to apply, it always creases. And I think I've worn this, I know 3 times, maybe 4 times this past year. And every single time halfway through the day, it creases, and not just a little bit of creases, it heavily creases. Because I think that's something with the JD Glow multi-chromes that I have 3 of their pressed ones, it will get a little bit of creasing, especially on my more hooded eye that does crease. I'll get a little bit of creasing at the very end of the day, but it's nothing too noticeable. It's just that kind of creasing that you can see the lines at the end of the day. I still find that annoying, but it's not terrible. This, however, creases so bad that there's like a big section of bald spot where it creased and like picked up, and just it's gone. It's gone from my eyelid, and it looks terrible, so I don't like it. The product itself is very pretty. It's definitely a more finely milled type of multi-chrome. It's nothing chunky. It's nothing intense, like wet looking. Let me not spill this, but let me put it right here. It's very pretty, but it's definitely like a finely milled product. Can you even see? I don't know if you can see that multi-chrome because I put it on the probably worst spot to swatch a multi-chrome, but let's see, can you see? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's very nice, but for me, with my lids and the fact that it creases so badly, it's a very gentle type of multi-chrome, or eyeshadow in general. I just like something a little bit more foiled and wet looking. And then also with it being loose. For all those reasons, that's why I ended up at, what is it, number 8. All right, so next up for number 7, this is not so much the product, but the device it's in is why it ended up so low. But this is the Derma E Essentials Sun Protection Mineral Powder SPF 30. I got this not too long ago. I don't know per se if the product is bad. Like, I think I wore it a couple times and I thought it was nice. However, the way you put this on is terrible. Like, it is bad, and honestly, if I thought the product inside here was bad, it probably would have ended up at number 9, because this brush is just terrible. Like, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but it is a really flimsy, really bad, I don't know, bad quality brush. And I feel like even if it was flimsy and like this, if it was rounded, I wouldn't have hated it so much. However, still, the whole way of applying this in that it's all connected, so you don't need to have, I like that aspect. You don't need to have a brush. It's all here. You just, you know, push this down and apply it. You're good to go. However, because of that, when I was using this, I feel like when I want, for me personally, when I want to use my brushes, I tend to do this and I point down and I do this. However, when I was doing that, I felt like I wasn't putting powder anywhere. Like there was nothing. Nothing, because I think, I don't know how exactly this works, but I think it just wasn't getting any powder to the brush, so that's why I was doing this and nothing was happening. So then, for me to use this and get product out, I had to like apply it like this and kind of do, it was just weird. I was like tilting my head up, trying to go in a downward motion so that the product would go down into the brush and I could use it. Getting past that and the awkward way of applying it, I also felt like this just flew product and flung it everywhere. Because this is such a flimsy, hard brush, I would put it on and it just would like fly everywhere. And I wanted to buff it into my skin, but I just felt like I was flinging it instead of buffing it. And one time, even when I finished my makeup, I had put it away and I was doing my eyebrows, or I was doing my mascara and I was about to do my eyebrows. There was just a bunch of powder like stuck here from where I was doing this and kind of blending it in. I must have done that right before I closed it and put it away, and there was just a cloud of powder sitting on my face, unblended, hanging out there, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. So all of those reasons, the way of applying this really deters me from being able to tell if the product is good. I used it a couple days. I thought it lasted fine. I used this on the days where I didn't have any powder foundation on. I just had a little primer and concealer, and I thought it looked nice. It gave me a very powdered look. It gave me a matte look, and it gave me a little bit of a more even complexion. So I think in that respect, it's nice. Wear time, I think, was average. I didn't notice at the end of the day my face looking terrible, but it definitely felt like it was a little faded and just not as evident that I had powder on my face at the end of the day, but that's not terrible. I don't think that's a terrible thing to do when you have just a little bit of powder on your face for it to wear off. So wear time in the product, the powder itself, I don't think is terrible. However, this way of applying it deters me from ever wanting to pick it up, so hence why it landed as low as it did. Okay, next up is from Silhouette Cosmetics. This is the highlighter and nougat, I think. This is a highlight I picked up when I picked up her singles, and I said I didn't have any highlighter on, so let me go ahead and put a little bit of this on while we talk. The biggest reason this landed so low is this is definitely a very natural highlight. If you're someone who just wants a very soft highlighted look, and if you're a little bit darker than me, this is a good highlighter to get because it will definitely give you that. It gives a very blinding like inner corner highlight whenever I use it very compactedly on my inner corner. It was a great compliment to like autumny, little mascara, to autumny type of eye looks. But as a face highlight, which is what it's intended for and what I bought it for, it's very subdued and it's very gold. So for me personally, whenever I really kind of amp this on to make it more noticeable, it looked too gold for me and my complexion. It just looked a little bit off. I paired it one day with a yellow blush and I really bronzed, and I feel like it kind of went with the whole theme of the look. However, on the day-to-day, just using this as a highlighter, it's a very subdued. It's almost one of those that you don't really see it's on, except like in some lights, it's like, oh yeah, I see a little bit of highlight. So it's nothing blinding. And for me personally, I like that. I kind of already said, but I like that wet looking highlight that is kind of invisible when you're looking straight on, but when you turn your head, you just get this streak of light. I feel like on camera, the viewfinder is like literally this small to me, but I think you can see it. However, in person, it's just a lot more subdued. So maybe that's a great thing for you. I can definitely, if this color was more my color, I can definitely see me reaching for this a lot more on the days when I wasn't going to be filming, where I'm just kind of every day and I don't want to be like this kind of makeup every day. I tend to tone it down a little bit. But anyway, if this color was more, if this color wasn't so gold for my skin tone, I can see this being that everyday highlighter. But since it is so goldish, I feel like whenever I put this on, especially whenever I don't have any foundation on, I just felt like it looked a little too obviously gold on the top of my cheeks and it looked a little off. So for all those reasons, like that's kind of why I put it where I did, because it's not a terrible highlight. It's very pretty. I think it gives a really nice glow to the cheeks. The quality of it is nice. It's just very subdued, which you need to want a kind of more subdued highlight. And also it's just not exactly my right skin tone. So that's the biggest reason why I placed it where it is. But as a highlight for the product, it is It's a nice product, and I can't remember exactly the price I paid for this, but I don't think it was too expensive. So if you are deeper than me, if you're looking at this, and if you like that kind of everyday highlight that isn't too blinding in your face, I think you would enjoy this. Next up, we're going to talk about a brush set. I'm so very excited to talk about this. This is from Beauty Junkies, and this is the brush set in collaboration with Maria over on Agape Love here on YouTube. And I've been so very excited to share this with you guys. As I said, Maria over at Agape Love Girl collabed with Beauty Junkies to put this 6-piece brush, there's a sponge, but 6-piece collection together, and this retails for $25, but you can use Maria's code Agape Loves, I believe it is, and you get it for $20. So $20 for 6 brushes is a really good price. And when it comes to the review on the quality, I'm not going to say that this is the best quality when you're talking about the bristles and the ferrules. They're definitely a little bit more affordable, but if you're someone who likes Morphe for the affordability, but hates how they are ruined after like 5 washes, I would say this is a better version of Morphe, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is the price is super similar, I feel like, to Morphe. The brushes are kind of very similar to Morphe. However, I feel like the bristles, while they're not anywhere, I would say like Sigma or Real Techniques or BK Beauty, they're nowhere that type of nice, I guess you could say. They're definitely a big step up from Morphe for sure, but even like e.l.f. in their more affordable line. I'm trying to think of some cheaper brushes. Coastal Scents, definitely better than Coastal Scents. Yeah. So in those respects, when you're talking about the more affordable brushes, I feel like these are better quality in the longevity that they'll last. Because I have a lot of brushes. I've had brushes from Morphe and Coastal Scents and e.l.f. Cosmetics that are very affordable, but they just don't last for the long haul. They definitely start to deteriorate very quickly, either the ferrule or the bristles. However, these, I've washed them a bunch over the past couple months that I've had them, and they're holding up really, really well. And especially like this little brush, which is called the Pro Tapered Blending. It's like an E40 brush. This I've washed, I can't remember how many times I've washed this, but it still is almost like in perfect condition. Yes, all of these brushes, when I washed them, had some of the bristles coming out of it. They just kind of like fell out. However, they keep their shape really nicely and they still feel nice. And that's a big difference to me personally when comparing these to like Morphe. Morphe, the minute you wash them, they just are never the same. They don't hold the shape and they don't feel nice afterwards. I also wanted to kind of focus on these two for a minute, because if you have never tried duo fiber brushes, you need to get this brush set and give them a try, because it is amazing. I think I heard from Taylor Wynn, who was the Taylor at the time, but she was talking about how she loves to use a duo fiber brush to do her bronzer and contour, and I was like, huh, I never tried that. I tried it that day, and I never want to use any of my other bronzer brushes since, because it gives the most diffused, beautiful blend to your bronzer and contour that you could want. And then also too, like with a foundation brush, it's so nice to get a really blended airbrush look to your foundation. It's fantastic. I have these two, love it. I have a couple other of their duo fibers from Beauty Junkies, and I love them all. So if you are scared to try duo fiber, this would be a brush set to get, because you only get 2 of them, which I think are the 2 big ones for me personally that make a difference. But yeah, I had to give them a spot in my countdown because they are a fantastic brush set. And when you talk about the price for what you're getting and the quality and just being able to try duo fiber brushes, I think it's a great buy. Okay, next up for number 4, this is the Dose of Colors Concealer. I forget what it's called. Meet Your Hue Concealer. I got it in a BoxyCharm. This is a really nice concealer. I wouldn't say it's my number 1 when I think about all the concealers I have, because I do feel like it creases just a little bit, and it creases depending on the day and the powder I use. However, if I get the right mixture when it comes to how much I apply, how well I blend it out, and the powder I use on top, it looks amazing. It looks great on my skin, and it doesn't crease at all. So it definitely is one of those that if you use too much, if you use a bad powder, it's gonna look terrible and creasy. However, if you are careful with it, it looks really nice. And so that's kind of why I put it at the number 4 spot, because it's not exactly without fault. You do have there's a couple nuances you have to learn to really enjoy it, but I like this concealer. It's really nice. It's more of a full coverage concealer, but not totally full coverage, which I do like. Yeah, I don't know. This concealer, I don't really have much to say. I feel like I just kind of said it all really quick, but I like it. I don't absolutely love it. It didn't blow me out of the water. It isn't like my number 1 concealer when I think about all the concealers I have in my collection. However, when I think of more full coverage concealers, this is definitely one of the ones at the very top. So hence why I put it where it was, because I feel like it was appropriate. Okay, now we're getting into the sponsored content for this video. Snocca Nails reached out to me. They sent me a product, or one of their nails in PR to try out, and I tried it out, and they were like, hey, we would like to sponsor some content with you. And we talked it over, settled on a price. They are a small brand, so I just took a gift card to their store because I was gonna buy their nails anyways. As I think I said already though, I was planning to review them anyway because they did send this to me in PR. I have a video on, you know, applying press-on nails on my channel, so I did want to bring this brand to you guys and share with you guys my thoughts on them because I enjoy press-on nails, so I like being able to review them. So anyway, let's talk about these nails. They are really nice. These are a premium type of press-on nail, so they're definitely, when you go on their website, they are far more expensive than Impress and Dashing Diva, which is kind of my jam when it comes to press-ons. Those are the ones that I enjoy. Those are the ones that I stick to. However, these are more expensive, but they have a little bit of a leg up on Dashing Diva and Impress because they are reusable, and Dashing Diva and Impress are just a one-time use. These, however, are supposed to be reusable, and I have actually reused them one time. This is my third time putting their nails on me, and I really do enjoy them, and I do like that I can reuse them. So even though they are expensive up front, if you take care of them, if you make sure you don't lose them, like one day for one of the nails, it popped off and I was like, oh shoot, I don't know where this popped off. So I actually lost that nail. But if you're more careful than me, then you can reuse them many, many times. But the box it comes in is super nice. So like, again, you're paying a more premium price, but you are also getting like really nice presentation, nice product to store it in. And it's just really, really nice. They have the directions in the container. The first time I used them, I did just this, and it lasted just over a week for me, which is a little bit shorter than I tend to get out of Dashing Diva and Impress Manicure. But with both of those, I always use glue. They also hold up a little bit better, like the tips of them don't wear down as quickly as like the Red Aspen. Red Aspen was supposed to be reusable as well, but the tips were starting to wear within like a day or two. These definitely hold up a lot more. I also like the styles they have if you want to go. I think some are like $20, but they have beautiful rhinestone decorations on them. And yeah, I think they're a great addition to the press-on nail collection, or the press-on nail community, I guess you can say. They're definitely, for me personally, a little bit more expensive, so this is a brand that I'll like splurge on when I want to get a really nice pair that I want to use many times, because I love this pair. I think it's called Camouflage, I forget. But if they have a nail set that I really like and I could see myself wanting to wear it again, I would totally splurge. I want to say these are $10, so not terribly more expensive than Impress or Dashing Diva, but it's nice to know that I'm supporting a small business when I pick these up. So yeah, I was going to do a whole video, but I decided to just feature it in my monthly favorites and give you guys my review here. Would you like to see a video on removing my press-on nails? Because that's a video I've never done, and that's something I think I could add to my channel that wouldn't be as repetitive, because like if I did a video showing how I put these on, they'd be pretty much the same as my first video on it, so I just feel like that would be repetitive. So let me know if you'd like to see a video removing them, and maybe I can do that. So yeah, with all that said, now my sponsored content for this video is over. We can move on to the second spot. And the number 2 spot goes to Sydney Grace's Lake Days. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if I took any video or like I took any tutorials using this. I know I posted at least one to my Instagram, maybe 2. This is beautiful. The only like con, or not even con, but just the only downside for me is if I ever applied this, let it dry a little bit too much, and then try to put more on top, I did notice that I got a little bit of creasing throughout the day. However, when I put this on and I, put it, not a thick amount, but I put a decent amount, got nice coverage, applied it in kind of one swoop, it did it all while it was wet, and then left it to dry, it's almost bulletproof. Like, it is amazing. You put it on and it didn't travel up into my crease, it didn't get all over my face, it didn't crease, it didn't fade. It was beautiful, and even though I have a more hooded eye, it stays pretty much budge proof. It got a little bit fuzzy in my crease, like right in my crease where I would crease, but that's it. Like, it almost looks identical when I take it off at night as it did in the morning. And yeah, the color itself, oh my goodness, the color is beautiful. I paired it with so many different type of looks this past couple months. I think I've had this like 2-3 months. It's so beautiful. You could go with like a really bright crease shade and it would stand out as more of a lime bright green, or one day I did a more autumny tone, as you guys have already seen, and I paired this with it and it just had so much depth to it. It's beautiful, and like I said, I think the highlight for me when it comes to this product is not only the color is beautiful, but the product quality. The formula itself is outstanding, and if you're someone who you enjoy shimmers on your eyes, but you hate how it travels everywhere or falls on your face throughout the day, this will not budge, and it gives a lot of shine. And nothing sparkly, nothing wet looking, but it gives a very nice little, just like a shimmer, I would call it, a really reflective shimmer. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. Can't recommend it enough. So had to give it a shout out here. I'm trying to get a little bit faster because this video is getting longer than I intended, but really great formula, and I'd love to get more colors if they had more fun, bright colors. I know Sydney Grace is more of a neutral, very subdued, soft brand when it comes to indie and eyeshadows, but if they did come out with something bold and beautiful, I'd definitely pick it up because this formula is amazing. Okay, coming in at number 1 is another brush brand. This is from Luna Magic. I got it in a BoxyCharm. Honestly, wasn't expecting much because you get a lot of brush sets in BoxyCharms, and oftentimes they're just, not that they're bad, but they're just forgettable, I guess you could say. However, this brush set this is unforgettable. Like, I can't forget this brush set because it's just so fantastic. I think my biggest pet peeve when it comes to brush sets, or my biggest con to a brush set, is that I feel like when you purchase a brush set, there's going to be brushes you don't like. There's going to be those throwaway brushes that either you personally won't like, or they just put it in there to act like another brush, but no one ever wants it. This brush set, however, no. Every single one of these brushes is fantastic, and almost every single one is a little bit more unique than you typically get in a brush set, than you typically have when it comes to makeup brushes. So if you're someone who has a lot of makeup brushes, this is still, I feel like, a brush set that you would enjoy because it's a little bit more unique. As you guys saw me apply, this is a highlighter brush and it's a little bit of a fan brush, but it's still very dense. So it's kind of like a mix of a fan brush with the, what is this called that everyone loves? The Sigma F03 brush. It's kind of like a mix of those two. It's amazing. Ever since I got it, I have loved applying my highlighter with it because I can either kind of go right on top or I can go on the side and really blend it in that way, and it's got a nice taper to it. It's just so good. This fan brush is amazing. And then the blender brush, I feel like every brush that will come with a blending brush, kind of like the Beauty Junkies did. And it's just a big, kind of flimsy, fluffy blending brush. However, this, it's a blending brush, but it's not big and it's not super fluffy. It's more pointed and tapered, so it brings a lot of uniqueness to my eye brush collection because it's a little bit more domed, a little bit more precise, and a little bit more tapered. If you like to really pack on your color, this will blend out your color while really packing it on. Absolutely love it. Moving on to this brush, I don't think they have any names, but this one is a great brush because it can either be used on your outer corner to pack on a matte, or you can pack on shimmer onto your lid with it. It's just that perfect cross between being fluffy enough to use to pack and blend, or flat enough to apply a shimmer, and it's just very versatile in that respect. And then last up is this little kind of dome brush that I use for my lower lash line. It's really great and precise and dense, so you can really get it right there. So yeah, all four of these brushes, as I said, they're just something a little bit different, a little bit more unique when it comes to a brush set, so it has a lot of value to it in my opinion. And the price isn't that high. I want to say it's around the $20 mark for these four, or maybe even less than that. I forget. I remember when I looked at the price, I was blown away by how affordable, in my opinion, it was for such great quality brushes. They feel nice, you know, they've held up well to the washing. I like that they're a little bit different than my other brushes, so they kind of stand out. And yeah, this is just a gem that I've gotten from BoxyCharm this past month, and ever since I've got it, I use it all the time. So I wanted to give it a shout out in my makeup monthly favorites and fails videos, and looking at all the products, it beat them all out because if I could wash these every night, I'd literally use all of them every single day because I love them so much. Alright, so those are all my favorites and fails reviews from this past month. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, I'm sorry I'm not going to be doing the close-ups of this month. I know it's something new I started and I definitely will be getting back to it, but just going to save myself a little bit of time leading up into the holiday season, or not even holiday season, but December when I'm doing Vlogmas. I'm not going to be doing that this month, so I hope you guys don't mind it. But yeah, I hope all of these reviews were helpful for you guys, being able to see my thoughts and opinions on all of them. Let me know your thoughts on them. As always, if you tried any of these products and you have any thoughts and opinions or experience with them, I'd love to hear that down below in the comments. But anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up on your way out, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. And if you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.